Pardon me?
Kathy is going to sit with you. Kathy is going to sit. Good morning. I'm Carmen McBride, and I'm honored to be your worship associate this morning. My pronouns are she and her. I'm wearing a magenta top today and flowy summery pants. Welcome, everyone. Bienvenidos. We thrive in community, not in spite of our differences, but because of them. We come here to practice loving our neighbors and loving our whole selves. A big thank you to the volunteers and staff that make these Sunday mornings possible. Welcome to those of you that are watching on YouTube. Please share where you're watching from in the chat. You may have noticed our parking near the building has been very limited. If convenient on Sundays, if you could please park in the parking lots across the street. And that allows people visiting or those needing special access or closer access to park around the building. One UC leaders are working to see about getting parking again along 13th Street, how we had that before, so stay tuned for that. Now would be a good time to silence your mobile devices or other devices that might distract from our hour here together. Our minister, Reverend Kent Doss, is not leading the worship today, you may have noticed. This morning, we are fortunate to have 3 members of our congregation, Kate Elliott, Dex Marble, and Kathy Webster, give reflections about summer. We always have fun events for people of every age and interest. After the service today, you may go to Corley Commons and share some thoughts about the service this morning. And then on Thursday, Reverend Kent will be hosting the minister's reading group, and that's at 6:30 in the Eddy Room. Please see your order of service for all sorts of other good stuff to go do. Staying informed about community life is a shared responsibility. If you're not yet on our email list, use the QR code to sign up. If you're online, you can go to the website and look under the newcomers section. Now, let's take a brief moment to greet one another. Please turn to the people next to you and offer a quick greeting and one back to one you see. The flowers on the altar table this morning are donated by Emily Dunnigan in honor of her mother, Roberta Swartwart Johnson Birch. Now we invite those participating online to light a candle or chalice as we light our chalice here. Our chalice lighters this morning are Ashley and Xavier Bowe, celebrating the upcoming arrival of a baby in November. We light our chalice in Midtown, Oklahoma City, on land that was home to First Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. Our opening words for chalice are by Ellen Hamilton. In faith, together, we light this small scrap of light, symbol of Grandfather Sun's enormous power, whose energy burns so brightly in these days of deep summer, catapulting the leaves and vines, vegetables, flowers, and fruits to astonishing size, lengths, and heights, spilling over the tops of cages, walls, and trellises, delighting and nourishing all beings. We bask in the warmth and heat of these days with lightened hearts and quickened senses, in gratitude and in faith. Please join me now in reading our covenant. The words are in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning. I'm Kathy Webster, and I am a Caucasian woman of a certain age with black hair, and I'm wearing a black dress. My microphone's not on. Ellie. Now it's on? All right. We'll start again. Good morning. My name is Kathy Webster, and I am a member of the congregation, and I am a woman of a certain age with black hair, and I'm wearing a black dress with daisies on it because it's summery. Today's opening words are by the Reverend Susan McGinn. From beyond the playful summer clouds, beyond the earth's thin blue line, from beyond the bright moon and meteor showers, we hear the call to look and listen carefully, to turn away from a world that buys and sells happiness, to fully experience the luring whisper of your heart's truth. Why not today? Why not now? We are here and together at home in this evolving place, home in this ever-changing breath and body, home in this dewy morning, even as it reaches toward a hot, high noon. We hear the call from far beyond and deep within, and we do not hear it alone. Come, let us worship together. And now, would you please rise and body your spirit to join in singing hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us, in the gray hymnal.
Open side us,
please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation? This prayer of co-creation was written by the Reverend Lynn Cox. Creative Spirit, source of light and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for the spirit of life that has animated play, creativity, exploration, and science. Thank you for all these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. So be it. Blessed be. Amen.
This morning I'll be sharing a story, a summertime story, called A Summertime Song. This book was given to my daughter by my sister on her 6th birthday. Words and illustrations by Irene Haas. One warm summer night, Lucy opened her window and in jumped a frog. The frog gave Lucy an invitation to a birthday party and a magic paper party hat to wear. Then he jumped out again and into the garden. Lucy put on the magic hat. She went outside. A finger of moonlight touched the hat and poof! Lucy was as little as a leaf. Bugs and beetles all around were big as puppies, and her grandma's lighted window seemed as high up as the sky. A taxi drove out of the shadows. Lucy said to the driver, "Take me to the birthday party, please." She settled down in the soft back seat, and the taxi drove off into the nighttime garden. "Goodbye, Grandma," Lucy called. "Goodbye." As they traveled along, Lucy looked at the driver's small fuzzy head. "Baby bird, why don't you fly?" she asked him. "I'm too scared to try," he answered. "What I like to do best is stay in my nest." Then he tried to whistle a tune. Soon up ahead, they spied a mouse, rushing to the party. Holding tight to her hat as she ran, she cried, "Zut, I am late! My husband would not wait while I made my new chapeau to wear to the fete." She stopped then and asked, "Do you like it?" Lucy vowed that she loved the new hat and invited Madame Mouse to join them in the taxi. A little further on, they met an inchworm, slowly inching to the party. When he saw the taxi, he stood on his tail and announced, "I inch while I sleep, I inch while I wake, I inch until my little feet ache. But I don't care how long I take. I want a piece of birthday cake." So Lucy asked him to come along too, and they all continued the journey. Baby Bird stopped the taxi one more time. Standing alone in a patch of moonlight was a tiny, tattered old doll. The doll bowed to them. "Will my story have a happy ending?" he asked. Lucy begged him please to tell his story, and so he began. "She lost me in the flowers one summer night, lost me in the shadows of pale moonlight. So many lonely years have passed. Will my little friend find me at last?" Lucy bowed to the doll, took his tiny hand, and invited him into the taxi too. On they drove through the darkness, chatting a bit, getting to be friends, when all at once, boom! They bumped into something enormous. A huge fat owl looked down at them and howled, "Yum, yum, my dinner." Lucy sat still and asked herself, "Can this be real? Will we be Owl's evening meal?" Then it suddenly began to rain. As Owl turned to open his huge umbrella, Baby Bird zoomed the taxi away. They cheered 3 cheers for Baby Bird. Hooray, hooray, hooray. At last they came to a big puddle. The rain had stopped. Little lights glittered on the far shore, and party music floated in the air. One by one, they each set sail over the velvety water. Lucy, Baby Bird, Madam Mouse, Inchworm, and the doll. Everyone from the garden was at the party. Crickets sang summertime songs. Caterpillar clowns served sweet tips of clover, and there was dancing. Lots of dancing. Then the music stopped and the lights went off. In came the birthday cake. And just as the birthday song began, there was a crash. Out of the dark came Owl. "Yum, yum," he howled, "my dinner." And he opened his beak to eat everybody up. But the birthday song continued. "Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Owl. Happy birthday to you." "Oh," cried Owl, "you've remembered. How kind. Tonight I'll eat cake, not bugs. Do you mind?" Then he blew out the candles, ate a big piece of cake, and the party went merrily on. When Inchworm ate some birthday cake, he turned into a handsome young moth. "No more inching," he cried, and he taught Baby Bird to fly too. And when Lucy offered Madam Mouse 20 gumdrops to make a chapeau for her cat, Mr. Mouse was astonished. "20 gumdrops for a hat?" he exclaimed. Now the moon was high, the party was over. Owl, asleep in a flower pot, snored like faraway thunder. Lucy bowed to the doll and told him, "It's time for a happy ending." Baby Bird flew Lucy and the doll up through the night, right into Grandma's window. Grandma was sitting at her piano, singing her sad old song. "When I was a little girl, he was my one and only. He played with me, he stayed with me, so I was never lonely. But I lost him in the flowers one summer night, lost him in the shadows of pale moonlight." Lucy pulled the magic paper party hat, poof, She was as big as before. She tapped her grandma on the shoulder and handed her the doll. "Lucy, you found him," cried Grandma. And turning back to the piano, she sang, "Lucy, Lucy, take a bow. Our song has a happy ending now." Then came bowls of strawberry ice cream and 100 hugs and kisses, and down in the garden, all night long, crickets sang a summertime song. Generosity is the core value of Unitarian Universalism that we practice every Sunday as we take an offering. All cash and designated checks will be sent to this month's Change for Change recipient. This month, our Change for Change partner is Curbside Chronicle. Curbside, and actually it's Enterprises now, they provide dignified income to people who often feel like they have no other options. It enables people to end their homelessness through employment and housing programs, works to put a face on the issue of homelessness, and empowers the community to play a role in solving the problem. After over a decade of incubation within the Homeless Alliance, Curbside is now its own 501c3 nonprofit, and you can learn more about them and their work at curbside.org. As we enjoy the offertory music, our ushers will pass the offering plate in the sanctuary. Online, you can make a gift through the One You See website, or you can send a check and designate on the memo line Change for Change. Would the ushers please come forward and receive the offering? This morning we'll have a reading and then I will share a poem that I wrote about summer. So the reading is by Reverend Manish Mishra Marzetti, entitled Fear and Love in a Red State. That doesn't take place in Oklahoma, but it could. And it's not about summertime, it happens in the springtime, which we also take vacations then. So, spring break. I'm with my family in Orlando, and my child needs to go to urgent care. As an Asian American in a gay marriage with adopted kids who are Black, I had booked the Florida vacation in the good old days of our former president. Everything is different now. I armed my white, cis male husband, Jeff, with our travel life, the folder with copies of our marriage certificates, the court orders declaring my husband and me the legal parents of our children, and more, and make an appointment for him at the closest urgent care. This is often our family's safety plan. The white guy in the family takes the lead. As Jeff and our child register at Advent Care, the receptionist inquires what Jeff's relationship to our child is. He explains. When meeting the doctor, Jeff offers, with carefully chosen language, that his spouse had a bronchial infection, and now our kiddo does too. How long was your wife sick? What was she prescribed? Jeff takes a risk and responds, he had bronchitis. Only after receiving the needed prescriptions do we figure out that Advent Care is run by a denomination that is vociferously anti-gay. My heart sinks. I wonder if we got lucky. The same week, on our family's day at Epcot, I wear my Mickey Pride shirt, the only Disney shirt I own. Mickey, Minnie, and a colorful explosion of rainbows and hearts. Within half an hour of arriving, a 13-year-old boy goes out of his way to tell me how much he loves my shirt, beaming from ear to ear, knowingly, as his mom coaxes him back to their family. Another family spends half an hour getting to know our kids, gifting them trading cards and offering us more ear-to-ear grins of love and affirmation. Near the end of our Epcot day, a park employee comments that she likes my shirt. By now, I realize that I'm a walking billboard of gayness and ask how our day in the park has been going. I think about the fear I was feeling in contrast to this day. So much love and support from so many unexpected directions, and I am grateful. I am left with the prayer. Even as fear abounds and reverberates, may I notice the life-saving, persistent presence of love. May I be that love for others. Ah, sweet summer. Ah, sweet summer. When life slows down, I dig in the dirt, take in the smell of freshly mowed grass, watch clouds come and go against a bright blue sky, see cardinals flitter, kites perch, red-tailed hawks soar, hear the steady drilling of the woodpecker, the gentle coo of a mourning dove. I breathe, read a good book, and then another and another. It's time for barbecues and cookouts, time for a ripe, vine-plucked tomato, a juicy watermelon, all the pitted fruits, cherries, plums, nectarines, peaches, mouthfuls of berries, red, blue, and black, popsicles, ice cream in a cup on a cone, ice cream with a cinnamon-scented cobbler fresh out of the oven. Dusk may be best, though. trees silhouetted against a not quite midnight blue-black sky. And look in wonder at fireflies casting their warm glow like many lanterns. Ah, sweet summer. Please join me now for a moment of meditation with these words by Wayne B. Arneson. We join together now in a time of meditation, spoken at first, then for a time in the peace that silence brings. As we enter into silence, we remember the many connections that sustain and uplift us through this religious community. We remember those who preceded us, whose contributions built a free faith, who built this home for its practice. We remember those around us, whose continuing care in thought and deed is an ongoing blessing in our lives, keeping the dream of free religion alive in our time. We remember those who will follow us, the children presently in our care, and those not yet come to light, who will inherit the work of our hands and hearts. In the silence now, we sit surrounded by these many connections, visible and invisible, that remind us every day that we are not alone. Peace be with us and with all under the sun.
Return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn
That was lovely. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kate Elliott. I am the vice chair of the HR working group. And although you don't see me here often, it's because I live in Ada. I see you all regularly on YouTube, not in a creepy way, just because I'm watching the service. But it's great to see you all in person. Let's see, I am here to give a reflection on the essence of summer. So this is a memory I had from quite a bit ago. I'm a Caucasian, middle-aged woman, medium brown hair, about 5'8", wearing a pink and blue paisley top. Okay, so one of my favorite summer memories from 35 years ago was a trip across the country with my brother and my father and stepmom, who both passed away. In preparing this reflection, I spoke with my brother, who I'm very close with now, as we traveled down memory lane. Back then, we could barely stand each other, think ages 11 and 12. We lived with our mother full-time in Oregon and visited our father during the summers in Northern California. Most of these summers, or some of these summers, he would also fly us out to Delaware, where his parents lived. So I always looked forward to summer and the chance to visit my father and his family. This particular year, our father organized to buy his parents' old Buick, a purple beauty of a sedan, probably from about 1986, and drive it the southern route back to Northern California. After our visit with his folks that year, the four of us hit the road in the new eyesore, according to his ungrateful daughter, and our stepmom. Luckily, our stepmom, she was amazing and was so good with us preteens. She had snacks and games and conversations to have over the more than 3,000-mile drive. We stayed at modest hotels and splurged on trips to places like Busch Gardens after suffering through Williamsburg and DC. But in DC, I have a memory of the changing of the guard in front of the tomb of the unknown soldier that was very powerful even back then. While in DC and splitting into pairs, my stepmom and brother went to see the Air and Space Museum while my father and I toured the White House, which I don't think you could do anymore, and I'm not sure I'd want to at this point. But we have pictures somewhere showing how our attire was just as atrocious as some of the decor within the White House at the time. But I love spending time with my father without my brother. Surely that's a sibling thing. My brother is definitely the funny one. During this trip, he provided us all a good balance of both frustration and entertainment. Whether he and I were arguing or complaining for having to be in the car for the long hours, we must have driven our parents crazy. Talking to my brother recently about these memories, though, I had to admit, although I didn't appreciate it then, I love that during the summers we spent quality time with each other and our father and stepmom. My brother has always been there to witness and support me in life, I have to admit. When we made it to Dollywood, which I've recently heard is a favorite destination for some, well, it's not for me. For those that don't know, it's a Dolly Parton themed park in Tennessee. We hadn't ridden but a couple rides before we looked around and my brother was gone. My first thought, he's such a turd. The adults panicked, of course, and soon I did too. We looked around for what felt like hours and hours until we found him. Where did we find him? He was on the giant slide. You know, the one where they give you a burlap sock to slide down. He wasn't scared at all. To the contrary, he had decided that he would ride the rides he could get on by himself and was having the time of his life. I couldn't believe that they even allowed that. I was like, how is that possible? But our folks were relieved. I was pissed and flat jealous because then we left all together and he'd gotten to ride more rides than me. We had a good laugh recently talking about that memory. Another was a hotel with an outdoor pool. My brother had to wear our father's swim trunks for some reason, and he looked hilarious with them tied super tight and kind of hanging off of him. I'm sure I teased him about this incessantly. He got comfortable with them, though, and we're playing in the pool, and he went to Carnival. And I'm sure enough, with all the families watching, and surely they were annoyed, he came up out of the water with a scared look on his face. Then a few moments later, the trunks made it up by bubbling to the surface, separate from him. I'm sure I was the one laughing the hardest as our father rushed in to help get them back on. Looking back, I remember my father commenting about the overall increases in gas prices along the way. Can't imagine what he'd say today, yikes. But ultimately, that was a very memorable summer, and one I'm so grateful for now. Our stepmom worked her way into our hearts during that trip, and it shows in the detailed scrapbook she made, if only we could find it today. Besides the crazy style we sported back then and a few pictures with our indignant faces scattered throughout, our memories are fond, especially around the parents we've lost. But not if, but when we find that scrapbook, I can't wait to share these memories with my family and my brothers and his kids. Summers were about freedom back then. I still had chores, boundaries, curfews, so I didn't think so. But looking back, I had little responsibility, was very well cared for, loved, and spoiled, especially during the summers with my dad. Although nowadays, it seems as though I have less freedom during summertime because I'm working, and because I still feel assaulted when I walk outside in the hot humidity in Oklahoma. I can't help but feel immense gratefulness upon reflection. And I found this quote from the well-adored and beloved Dr. Seuss. "Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Dex Marble. I'm a white old man with pronouns of him and he. I've been a member of this congregation since 1999. As a child, I was reared in the Dallas Unitarian Church, where my grandmother was a major force in the Women's Alliance during the 1930s, preserving that church when the congregation could not afford a minister. I vividly remember witnessing at the age of 5 the celebration of the laying of the cornerstone of the Dallas church in 1949. I've had a career as a basketball coach, as a professor of history at the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma, and as a lawyer. I've never been able to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up. Reverend Kent asked me to address the topic of summer, perhaps focusing on the best summer of my life. That's easy. The summer of 1968, when Sarah Althauser and I got married. He asked that I limit my comments to 7 minutes. That's hard. But here goes. Actually, I'll talk about the summer of 1965, which I spent at home in Dallas between my junior and senior years at Stanford University. That summer was in many ways a prelude to the wonderful summer of 1968. That summer of 1965 was transformative. There's not enough time to describe all the ways that some... What, did the microphone go off? Okay. Now we got an echo.
We're trying, sorry. You're having fun. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll try it now. I'll try it now. I'll try it now. I'll try it now. Oh, all right. Here we go. Okay, there's not enough time to describe all the ways that summer helped me, helped lead to the summer of 68, but I'll share a couple of items. In that spring of 1965, a delightful young lady, a fellow student, terminated our relationship. I was so devastated that I did what any heartbroken adolescent male would do. I read a volume of poems by Alexander Pushkin. Among the many poems was I Loved You Well, which is printed in your order of service. It expressed my feelings perfectly, and it helped to rekindle a passion of my early childhood. See, I had a background in music. My mother was a piano teacher with a master's in music from the University of Michigan. I demonstrated absolute pitch at the age of 3, and I memorized a Mozart piano sonata at the age of 5. And I took violin lessons from the assistant concertmaster of the Dallas Symphony Orchestra while I was in grade school. I think they thought there was some promise there or something. But I did not enjoy practicing. And as I grew up, the culture of my schools had little respect for male musicians. And athletics became my passion. And I never let anyone know that I owned a violin. I answered the call of basketball, which took up all of my spare time. The great experience upon returning to Dallas in that summer of 1965, however, was seeing the movie The Sound of Music 6 times. I loved that show, and it helped to rekindle my love of music. And linked to that love, great poetry tends to write its own music. I followed the music of the poem to write the song that Amelia and Barbara have agreed to perform.
You may find
I am delighted to say that the prayer at the end of that song was granted for the lady that rejected me. But I'm even more delighted to say that the prayer was also answered for me, resulting in the best summer of my life when Sarah and I got married. We will celebrate our 58th anniversary in a couple of weeks.
Dex Marble, you are a hard act to follow. So I decided to take a little bit of a different approach to today's theme. And the title of this reflection is Things I Learned in the Summer. I have some great summer memories. My first plane ride, age 3, to California. The 1998 World Cup victory by France in Paris. Allez les Bleus! Family road tripping on Route 66. The 4 of us have traveled the entire Mother Road, thank you very much, and we have the certificate to prove it. There's also my star turn playing Miss Adelaide in Guys and Dolls one summer in high school. And more. As it happens, I have lived on an academic calendar since I started attending school at the age of 2. That was nursery school. And now it seems for the past 58 years of my life, I have either been a student, full-time or part-time, or I have worked in higher education, or both. For me, this rhythm and lifestyle is a gift. I appreciate the change of my year, 2 semesters of the academic year, fall semester, spring semester, and then the summer, providing time away from the regular part of my life, the school year. Summer break is a reality thus in both my professional and my personal life. And it was only as I put together this reflection that I realized how very many essential aspects of my life have gotten kickstarted in the summer. Hands-on learning, emotional growth, some unexpected surprises have shaped my life's journey, mainly for the better. And while going on summer vacation with my family is treasured as a privilege and a pleasure that I continue to enjoy, we will all gather in Mexico next month. There are some other summer experiences that have impacted me beyond measure of vacation. For example, I first learned how to play the flute during the summer between 4th and 5th grade. The elementary summer band in my town was an institution, and it involved classmates that year who were also learning to play their instruments, the trumpet, the clarinet, and the drums. Those 3 I remember well, among others, I suppose, but those 3 boys and I would go on to play in school bands and ensembles and orchestras for years to come. At first that summer, we could all play each other's instruments equally well or badly. That would certainly not be the case today. And I'm still playing my flute in public as recently as last week here at First Unitarian. In junior high, I decided that I should learn how to touch type. So I took a summer school class. My mom, as a dance instructor in the program, I think she got me in for free. I was the youngest in the class by far. Little did I know that it would be a skill that I would use more and more in my life. But at the time, my grandmother thought that it might make me an excellent secretary one day, an appropriate aspiration in her eyes for me to become a career gal. I was initially glad to be able to type my own papers in high school and in college, and by graduation, I had access to a personal computer. I did not have my own computer. But it became clear that my life would continue to revolve around a keyboard and this skill, and it has done so up till today, including composing this very reflection. I first traveled overseas in the summer. After my father's untimely death, he was 43, I was 10. My mother was determined to expose my brother and me to the wider world. She somehow managed to pay in installments for a TWA package tour to the best of Europe. So we visited 4 countries in 10 days, along with a throng of other Americans and our intrepid guide, an Italian guy named Mirko. I was the youngest person on the trip, which meant I mainly remember being talked down to, literally and figuratively, and then surprising many of the adults with my knowledge of facts about the places we were seeing and my ability to speak French. Again, this early summer exposure made it easier for me to travel abroad on my own in years to come, up and into and including my recent year-long sabbatical in France. I first fell in love for real in the summer between 10th and 11th grade, the summer where I played Miss Adelaide, in fact. The heartbreak came later in the winter, but that summer I experienced all the thrills and the chills, the highs and the lows of true high school romance. Many years later, I fell in love with my husband in the summer. We had been introduced sometime before, but it was during the month of July in steamy New York City when our relationship really took flight. 30 years later, we're still together, as the song goes, still going strong. Perhaps most astonishingly, I owe my professional career to the summer. After my freshman year of college, I attended college in New York City. I returned to live at home in the suburbs and work at the bakery where I had been making breads and pies during my high school years. A great job, really. The summer demand for baked goods in town was also very high. And while I enjoyed the work, I felt stifled by the loss of independence that my life in New York City had shown to me. And so then I was in this summer mode. I had no car of my own, and I had fewer friends that I had counted on to spend time with during the summer. Fewer of them came back to town. So I found myself often taking the train into New York to spend time with my college pals and hang out. And also I appeared as an extra in a major motion picture. That was fun. It was during that summer that I resolved to never again return home to Connecticut for the summer. This decision would require some ingenuity on my part, given that my mom, a single mom for quite some time, was not in any kind of financial position to support me should I remain outside the home. I was always welcome to stay at home, but I knew I could not ask her for money to support me living in New York City. So I would need to find a summer job that would pay me enough to cover New York City rent. A tall order, to be sure. One fine day during that sophomore year of college, I came across an ad in the school newspaper, desperately seeking staff for a high school summer program, housing included. For political reasons I will not broach here, I was not an ideal candidate for this position. But I put together my resume, I worked hard on my application, and after several rounds of interviews, I ultimately landed myself on the team of the Summer in New York program. Not only did I have a great time co-creating elements of the program, leading my charges around the city and attending all kinds of great activities like Shakespeare in the Park and baseball at Yankee Stadium and American Ballet Theater at Lincoln Center. The best part was that I found my mentor, the dean of that program, who offered me multiple other work opportunities during and after college and encouraged me, practically forced me to pursue my doctoral studies. If any single summer changed my life, it was that one. My career trajectory as a higher education administrator, as a faculty member, my position at UCO, where I'm about to celebrate my 20th anniversary, all of that traces directly back to that fateful summer. Summer break might be short in duration, but they do add up over time. This summer, I'm doing something new for a change. I'm training for a 5K. I might be 60, but I'm still game to learn something new in the summer. How about you?
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn in the Teal Hymnal, number 1066, O Brother Sun.
Oh, brother sun, you bring us light, all shining round in fiery light. Oh, sister moon, you heal and bless, your beauty shines in tenderness. Oh, brother, into sleep thy hills, your mighty breath both refreshes and fills. Oh, sister water, you cleanse and flow through rivers and streams in ice and snow. Oh, brother far, you warm our night with all your dancing colored light. Oh, sister, you feed all beings, all birds, all creatures, all scales and wings. Oh, sister, death, you meet us here and take us to our God so near. Oh, God of life, we give you praise for all your creatures, for all your ways.
Our chalice closing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Words by Elizabeth Sell Jones. Like the awe felt whether gazing at dazzling firework displays, lighting the night sky, or tiny fireflies, May your spirit be replenished during this season that is summer. For your memories, the road trips, unrequited love, broken hearts, new adventures. Share the gifts that only you possess, and know you are loved as you leave this sacred place. Go in peace until we meet again. Namaste.